Have you ever known someone who, the moment they are deeply hurt, just disappears? They don't argue, they don't cry, they don't text back, they go completely quiet, and somehow that silence feels heavier than any shouting ever could. If you've experienced it, either as the person who goes quiet, or as someone watching someone else do it, today's video is going to explain exactly what is happening, why, and what it really means about the person doing it. Let's start with what most people get wrong. When someone goes quiet after being hurt, the instinct of everyone around them is to interpret it as coldness, as manipulation, or as punishment. They're giving me the silent treatment. They're trying to make me feel guilty. But here's what the psychology actually tells us. In the vast majority of cases, the silence isn't a strategy. It's a shutdown. Psychologists call this emotional withdrawal, and it's one of the most well-documented responses to psychological pain. When the brain perceives social or emotional threat, betrayal, rejection, humiliation, deep disappointment, one of its oldest protective systems activates. Not the fight response, not the flight response, but something called the freeze or submit response. The person doesn't know how to fight. They don't feel safe enough to flee, so they go still, they go quiet, and from the outside, it looks like control, but from the inside, it often feels like paralysis. Here is where it gets deeper. For many people, this pattern of going quiet didn't begin in adulthood. It began in childhood, and it began for a very specific reason. Think about what a child learns when they grow up in an environment where expressing hurt doesn't work. Where crying leads to being told to stop crying. Where saying, "You hurt me," leads to being dismissed, mocked, or punished. Where emotional expression is treated as weakness or as a burden. That child learns, very efficiently, because children are survival machines, that expressing pain is dangerous. That needing comfort is risky. That the safest thing they can do when they are hurt is to become invisible. And so they do. They swallow it. They go quiet. They smile when they need to, perform when they need to, and retreat into themselves when they are falling apart. And then, 20 or 30 years later, they are still doing it. Because that pattern never got updated. The nervous system still believes, on a deep, unconscious level, that going quiet is the safest available option. Here's the painful irony. The people who go quiet when they are hurt are often the ones who feel things the most intensely. The silence is not emptiness. It is full of things they cannot say, things they don't believe anyone wants to hear, things they are afraid will be dismissed or ridiculed or used against them. When someone goes quiet on you, what they are often communicating, without words, because they don't yet have the words, or because they don't believe the words will land, is this: I am too hurt right now to speak without breaking. I don't trust that this is safe. I need something from you, but I don't know how to ask for it. The silence is, in many cases, an invitation in disguise. It just doesn't look like one. Left unaddressed, this pattern becomes corrosive, both for the person doing it and for the relationships around them. For the person going quiet, the pain doesn't disappear just because it's unexpressed. It accumulates. It calcifies. Over time, people who chronically suppress emotional pain develop higher rates of anxiety, depression, and stress-related physical illness. The body keeps the score, as the psychologist Bessel van der Kolk famously documented, and what cannot be spoken eventually speaks through other channels. For the relationships around them, unaddressed silence creates distance. The people who care about the quiet person often don't know they've caused pain, don't know how to reach in, and eventually stop trying. Which only confirms the quiet person's deepest fear, that they are alone, and that no one really cares. So what do you do if you are the person who goes quiet? Start small. You don't have to deliver a perfect speech about your feelings. You just have to say one true sentence. I'm not okay right now. I need some time. That hurt more than I showed. That one sentence is the beginning of the wall coming down. And if you are on the other side, if someone in your life goes quiet, resist the urge to interpret it as rejection. Ask gently, give space, and if you care about them, say so. Not once. Keep saying it. Because the person who goes quiet when they are hurt has usually been waiting a very long time to discover that someone will stay, even when they can't speak. That's it for today. If this video described someone you know, or someone you recognize in yourself, share it. It might be the one thing that starts a conversation that's needed to happen for a very long time.